and welcome back to the channel. There's been an update on the condo collapse down in Miami, Florida. Details are coming in about the number of people who are missing and who some of them are. I'm going to share some of those details with you, but first, before getting into that, it is being said that it was already known. It says scientists discovered a year ago that the 12-floor Miami condo was sinking and that it needed extensive repairs for rusted steel and damaged concrete. It was also revealed that work on the roof may have triggered this deadly collapse, leaving 99 missing, and of course there are those that are dead as well. And so this is a very, very tragic thing that has happened. They have given lots of details on individuals that were residents of that building, and of course, as we reported before, the units were selling between $600,000 and $700,000, so they were not cheap. And I want you to take a listen as more details are coming out about this tragic thing. Also, the fact that there was one resident who was suing because they saw evidence of cracking. So it's been known. It's been known for some time that these buildings were in disrepair. It's also being said that there are other buildings, not there, but other buildings in the surrounding area that also have some similar things that just might be happening real soon. There was also mention of a sinkhole. But anyway, I'm going to let you listen to the details because they were very thorough in what they are reporting on this. So I want you to listen to it, and I will be right back.
Scientists had warned that the 12-story Miami condo building was sinking and in a potentially dangerous condition 1 year before it collapsed Thursday, killing at least one person and leaving 99 missing. A 2020 study from Florida International University found the Champlain Towers South Seaview condo development was sinking at a rate of about 2 millimeters a year in the 1990s because it sits on reclaimed wetlands. The oceanfront building was also due to have its safety recertified for the first time in 40 years this year, which included the need for extensive repairs for rusted steel and damaged concrete on parts of the structure. It has also been revealed that the tower had recently undergone construction work on its roof, sparking fears this may have piled on additional weight to the sinking structure. Authorities have not yet determined what caused the collapse, and Miami-Dade police have opened an investigation, though Mayor Daniela Levine Cava said there has been no evidence found of foul play. As questions mount over the cause of the tragedy and whether it could have been avoided, the hunt for survivors and victims in the rubble continued into a second day Friday. A total of 55 condos collapsed on Thursday, more than a third of the 136 within the building, with most belonging to first-time homeowners. The tower has a mix of seasonal and year-round residents, meaning authorities are unsure exactly how many people were inside when it collapsed. However, officials believe the building was substantially full at the time. Szymon Dałwinski, a professor in the Department of Earth and Environment at Florida International University, told USA Today he knew instantly which building had collapsed when he heard news reports because he had studied the building for the report published last year. "I looked at it this morning and said, oh my God. We did detect that," he said. Dałwinski said he found that Champlain Towers South was sinking at a rate of around 2 millimeters a year in the 1990s due to its position on wetlands, but that rate could have slowed down or sped up since then. However, the land's slow sinking alone would not have caused the building to collapse, he said. It was a byproduct of analyzing the data. "We saw this building had some kind of unusual movement," Dałwinski told USA Today. The paper was published in April 2020 in the academic journal Ocean and Coastal Management and was part of a wider look at how buildings in Miami were sinking generally with rising sea levels caused by climate change. In some locations, as in the eastern part of the city, the detected subsidence, sinking, is of a 12-story high condominium building, the paper ominously warns. It's not immediately clear if the 12-story building referenced in the paper is the condo that collapsed. It's also not clear if any officials took note of the paper when it comes to shoring up any dangerous conditions in the area. In a video posted by FIU, Dałwinski said hundreds of buildings can be sinking bit by bit and hundreds of buildings can have cracks, not just in Miami. What would cause one to collapse would be an engineering problem, he said. Dowinski, who has previously conducted a number of land subsidence studies including one in Mexico City, noted in the video on Thursday that the tragic Mexico City Metro overpass collapse on May 3 that killed 26 people and injured 79 others had happened in an area where he had previously detected land subsidence. The Champlain Towers South development was built in 1981 by the late developer Nathan Reiber's company Nattel Construction at 8777 Collins Avenue in the southeast corner of Surfside, but the structure hasn't been updated significantly since then. It had a few two-bedroom units currently on the market at the time of the collapse with asking prices of $600,000 to $700,000. Some have sold for more than $2 million. The area is a mix of new and old apartments, houses, condominiums and hotels, with restaurants and stores serving an international combination of residents and tourists. Local officials have said the condo block was right in the middle of going through a recertification process required by Miami-Dade Building Code, which dictates that buildings have to be recertified every 40 years. The building was due to be recertified for the first time since its construction this year. Kenneth Director, a lawyer for the Champlain Towers South Association, told the Miami Herald on Thursday that to prepare for the recertification process an engineer had been hired to plan structural and electrical updates, but that work hadn't started yet. He told the New York Times that the building had been about to undergo extensive repairs for rusted steel and damaged concrete, but that he had seen nothing to suggest the collapse was related to issues identified in the engineering review. Director added that any waterfront building as old as the Champlain Towers would have some corrosion and concrete deterioration and insisted on Thursday that it was too early to speculate about what had happened. The Miami Herald reported that Frank Morabito was the engineer retained by the Champlain Towers, but that he could not be reached for comment on Thursday. Director told the Washington Post on Thursday that the building was thoroughly inspected recently as part of the recertification process, and that a report on the inspection was sent to town authorities. He described the report's findings as fairly typical for a building of its age, and did not cast doubt on its structural integrity, according to the outlet. There was nothing in the report that would have indicated a life safety concern, he told the Washington Post. Surfside Mayor Charles W. Burkett said roof renovations were being done on the property, but that they should not have contributed to the collapse. The building has literally pancaked. That is heartbreaking because it doesn't mean to me that we are going to be as successful as we wanted to be in finding people alive, he said. He instead described the collapse as a catastrophic failure of the building. It's hard to imagine how this could have happened, Burkett said. Buildings just don't fall down. There's no reason for this building to go down like that unless someone literally pulls the supports out from underneath. He suggested that potential causes could be the result of the foundations being washed out or a sinkhole. JJI Supply, a general contracting company based in West Palm Beach, received a notice in April about the re-roofing of the building, The Real Deal reported. The outlet obtained records showing that Deborah and Edward Campany of West Palm Beach lead the general contracting business. Bruce Masia of KW Property Management and Consulting told Florida's Biz Journal that the ongoing roof renovation on the property could have added extra weight that the building couldn't withstand. Buildings don't fall down right away. They fall down because there are problems and those problems need attention, he said. However, Surfside Vice Mayor Tina Paul told the Washington Post on Thursday that Champlain Towers South passed a roof inspection on Wednesday, the day before the collapse. Jeff Rose, a contractor whose parents live in the building, told the Miami Herald that he had done renovations for some of the condos and that work on the roof had started about 6 weeks ago. He added that some concrete restoration work was also being done to fix old or damaged concrete, but that the concrete work was not out of the ordinary. I didn't notice anything I haven't seen in many other buildings in South Florida, Rose told the outlet. However, an engineer who specializes in concrete repair projects told the Miami Herald that one potential structural flaw called concrete spalling jumped out at him when he watched video of the collapse. The engineer, Greg Batista, described the flaw as concrete cancer, and said that it happens when salt water seeps into porous concrete, causing steel rebar in the support beams to rust and expand, which can break the concrete and weaken the beams. Surfside Commissioner Charles Kesl told Local 10 that there were also garage underground issues found during various inspections recently relating to the recertification process. And, to my understanding, there were some cracks from that project, minor cracks that were just patched up. Nothing, based on my understanding, to the magnitude that would indicate that there was a structural problem that could result in something so catastrophic, Kesl said. Kit Miyamoto, chair of the California Seismic Safety Commission, also spoke to Anderson Cooper and said that Miami-Dade has actually good standards to examine buildings every year. Miyamoto said it appears likely that corrosion was a culprit, as the side of the building that collapsed was the side facing the ocean. Salt water could have gotten in and corroded the metal columns in the building. If the soil is settling, that also could have affected the columns, as they get pulled in as the ground settles, Miyamoto said. Miyamoto called rescue efforts extremely dangerous, but that there's definitely still hope that survivors of the building collapse could be found. Even with concrete floors sandwiched on top of each other, air pockets are likely. People have been found in similar wreckage days after, he said. Kobe Karp, an architect whose firm has worked on prominent Surfside and Miami Beach buildings, told the New York Times that the way the building had collapsed suggested a possible internal failure. He said the internal failure may have been caused by deterioration at the point where a horizontal slab of the building meets a vertical support wall, which he explained to the outlet could lead one of the building's floors to suddenly fall and take the rest of the building down. Karp said that such a deterioration could have happened either slowly over years or suddenly if the structure of the building was unintentionally damaged. Some people in Surfside had previously raised concerns about the integrity of the aging building. Barry Cohen, 63, the former vice mayor of Surfside, said he raised concerns years ago about whether nearby construction might be causing damage to the building after seeing cracked pavers on the pool deck. In 2015, a resident also sued in 2015 claiming building management did nothing to repair cracks from water damage. Dozens of Jews are among 99 people still missing after a 12-story apartment block collapsed in Miami in a disaster that is feared to have killed scores of sleeping residents. The Chabad of South Broward in Hallandale Beach reported at least 34 people unaccounted for were Jewish, with the number rising throughout the day as frantic rescue efforts continued. Authorities say 53 people had been accounted for by Thursday afternoon, but 99 who are believed to have lived in the building were still missing. It was unclear whether any or all of them were inside at the time of the collapse. The tower has a mix of seasonal and year-round residents. Officials say the building keeps a log of guests staying, but does not keep track of when owners are in residence. 35 people were rescued from the damaged building and 14 people, including a young boy, were pulled from the rubble in the early stages of the search operation. 2 of those people, including the woman who has since died, were taken to hospital. Authorities fear many more people may be dead or remain trapped under the rubble, and have already warned the recovery efforts could last an entire week. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said rescue teams had made contact with some survivors by mid-morning, but did not elaborate on where they were located or if they had been rescued. Right now, we have the fire rescue. They are in search and rescue mode. They are trying to identify survivors. I know they have made contact with some, and I know they are doing everything they can to save lives, he said.
Wow, this is definitely going to be another one of those trouble in paradise scenarios, because a lot has happened and a lot is being reported right now. You can almost bet that those occupying other surrounding buildings are going to be vacating and possibly taking vacation somewhere else. As a matter of fact, many of these were vacation units, and they did say that they believe that a large majority of the tenants were present, though. They are saying that. So those who live temporarily in the area as a vacation spot, many of them may be going back home, because it is being said that this may be a situation with some other buildings as well. We talked about that building on a foundation of sand. It's not a good idea. Not a good idea. There's probably going to be a lot more lives lost in this situation. The devastation is worse than what they were initially reporting. As the story unfolds, we will all see what happens. We will see who they are pulling out of the ashes and the rubble. There have been survivors that have been rescued, but others are still missing and unaccounted for at this time. So at this time, we are going to bring a close to this story. A lot of details have already been shared on this. And so until next time, we hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it, like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.